The Assembly of Albania has approved the change in the gambling law that orders the closure of casinos and sports betting at the end of the year, with 75 votes in favour, as well as to overturn the President's decree on the theatre. The EU ambassador to Albania, Luigi Soreka, has issued a call for cooperation and unity between political factors, given that Albania is in a decisive moment on the path to EU integration. The Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will visit the first ever time in Albania on November 1, arriving in Tirana as part of a broader tour across the Balkan region. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 25th of October 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. With 75 votes in favour, the Parliament today approved the law to ban gambling in the territory of Albania. Socialist Party MPs, after the parliamentary deliberations, unanimously voted on the law on gambling. Meanwhile, with 74 votes in favour, MPs of the majority knocked down the President Ilir Meta's decree for the National Theatre. It has been learned that it was the Minister for Diaspora, Pandeli Majko, who voted against overthrowing the decree of President Ilir Meta. The vote was welcomed by Prime Minister Edi Rama. 100% of the MPs present in the Assembly voted to approve the ban on gambling, including electronic casinos or any other kind of offline or online betting, effective December 31st, declared Edi Rama. The Assembly also approved the draft law on the protection of minors from alcohol with 75 votes in favour. Austrian Ambassador Johann Sattler appeals to the opposition to end the boycott and return to Parliament to allow for political debate to take place in our country. From Shkodra, the representative from Austria said that political vetting is important, but according to him, it will be done by the new justice institutions. Referring to the actions against the so-called strong ones, Sattler recalled the term big fish of American Ambassador Donald Lu, who has now left the country. The big fish, the man who invented this term, is no longer in Albania. But what we have seen in recent months is a positive step, because there is a focus to sending the strong ones to jail. The launch of the smashing of criminal groups did not find the American ambassador in Albania, but his Austrian counterpart, me, Johann Sattler. I appreciate the action and assert that it requires continuity and care, said Sattler. Currently, the political climate in the country is tense, with the opposition not present in the Assembly. The Vienna representative in Tirana calls for an end to the boycott and instead to address the issues directly. The seat of all elected representatives of the people is the Parliament. From contacts with political representatives of all parties, I have expressed that political debate must take place in Parliament. I am optimistic that we can achieve this and we can have a solution to the situation. Vetting in politics is the express condition of the opposition to restore normality to the Assembly, said Sattler. Sattler says this is inevitable, but according to him, it is to be done by the special structure against corruption and organised crime. The vetting of politicians is very important and will happen once we have the institutions. That requires a little patience, but next year we will have the National Bureau of Investigation and the special structure against corruption and organised crime, which are designed for this job, declared Johann Sattler. Austria supports the opening of negotiations between Albania and the European Union. However, the Austrian ambassador stated that the requirement for the government and all other factors to make the ultimate use of the next 8 months to ensure tangible progress in the fight against crime and corruption and for electoral reform and justice. Ambassador Sattler was in Shkodra on the occasion of the Austrian national holiday. Albania is in a decisive moment and therefore there is a strong need for cooperation and unity between political factors. This was the message issued by the European Union ambassador in Tirana, Luigi Soreka, in his first political statement since taking office. 1 month after his debut in the role, the European Union ambassador Luigi Soreka says Albania is in a delicate situation. At the meeting of the Stabilisation and Association Committee at the Foreign Ministry, he urged all political factors to cooperate. He requested the continuation of administration reform from all the ministries. During this meeting, representatives of the Albanian government expressed the will to meet the key priorities, in particular in regards to justice reform, which paves the way for the country's European Union integration. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will come for an official visit to Albania on November 1, where he will meet with the top leaders of the country and attend a regional summit. The visit to Albania is part of Netanyahu's Balkan tour, which, according to his press office, will also see stops in Greece, Bulgaria, Romania and Serbia. Netanyahu is the highest Israeli official visiting Albania, with local media underlining the long-standing friendly relations between the two countries. Former Israeli Foreign Minister Shimon Peres visited Tirana in 1994. Meanwhile, last year, the city commemorated the official with a plaque. Netanyahu's last visit to the Balkans was in Bulgaria and took place in July 2011, about a year before a terror attack caused an explosion on a bus of Israeli tourists, killing 5 of them and its Bulgarian driver. One day after the Prime Minister accused the media of dealing with slander and recordings, the citizens expressed their opposition to Rama's speech. Some even suggested that this can only happen in Albania, being an impossibility in Western countries. Prime Minister Edi Rama attacked the media by accusing journalists and media outlets of crushing the brains of the citizens. Although the head of the government himself has proposed the design of an anti-defamation package, it is he who does not stop with charges against the fourth power, following the example of Donald Trump in the United States. In Freedom House's recent report, Albania is among the countries where media freedom is determined as partially free. Also in this report was an alarm on press freedom based on political leaders targeting both traditional media outlets and social networks. The Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliaj, welcomed the writer Ismail Kadare's emphasis on the need for a new theatre, considering the current building is nothing more than a temporary one that the Italian invaders had invented for the amusement of soldiers. Great people are like Ismail Kadare. A great man is not one who says, I'm too great, I do not get involved with these little guys. No, a great man touches things by hand. A great man intermixes and gives his opinion. And a great man is not a neutral man without obedience. You can be neutral in the sense of being without a political party, but still having convictions. You are convinced of whether we should let the city degrade or move forward, whether we should build new schools or whether we should continue to remain ignorant and live in ignorance. I want to publicly thank Ismail Kadare, the icon of modern Albanian thinking, for the support of the new theatre, said Erion Veliaj. Speaking from the new school Beti Mucho, as a symbol of the transformation that the Kombinat area has undergone, Veliaj said that the last 3 years has seen Tirana make a tremendous progress. I am glad that most of the things that have not been touched for 30 years are already progressing in the right direction. We will continue to work with optimism and courage in order to do it all. We have conducted a study for the restructuring of the entire area of Student City, which is sitting on the border between Unit 5 and Unit 6. We have introduced a project for the rehabilitation of the square Garibaldi, which is the main piece of infrastructure we are financing for Kombinat. We are also working on the main boulevard there, which will be just like the boulevard of Korça. And for the Asir area, we will soon open the new unit there too, explained Mayor Veliaj. The two Albanian countries, Albania and Kosovo, are ranked last in Europe, excluding the countries of the former Soviet Union, for per capita income. This is according to the latest data from the International Monetary Fund, which has updated the figures for the October 2018 Global Economic Bulletin. For 2018, Albania is estimated to have a per capita income of $5,261, ranking 102 out of 191 countries, up 4 places when compared to 2017, when it was in the 106th position. Kosovo ranks 112th with $4,324 per capita. In the region, Montenegro has the highest income at $8,644 per capita, ranking 79th in the world, followed by Serbia with $6,815 in 88th place, Macedonia with $5,953 in 95th place, and Bosnia and Herzegovina with $5,704 in 100th place. For years, Albania, a country blessed with natural resources and an enviable geographic position, has failed to increase its revenue at the rate of its neighbours and other developed countries, and as such has remained the poorest in Europe along with Kosovo. According to Eurostat data referring to 2016, the country's revenue is as high as 29% of the EU average, from 30% in 2014. Other countries in the region have moved all the way forward. Bosnia, which was once below us, has already reached 32% of the European Union average. The highest GDP per capita in the region is Montenegro, as high as 45% of the EU average. After Montenegro, Serbia and Macedonia rank in with per capita income as much as 37% of the European average. Even for current individual consumption, an indicator of material wealth of families in Europe, Albania is last, with 37% of the European Union average. The country with the highest per capita income in the world is Luxembourg, with about $114,000 estimated for 2018, according to IMF figures. In second place is Switzerland with $83,500, followed by Norway with $82,000. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.